Hello, everyone! RBG Kingdom Kid here, back with some more Final Fantasy XIV. And we're going to be starting Endwalker. Ooh, I'm so excited for this. I am super excited for this. You guys have no idea. I usually start this on, in the title screen, but, circumstances being what they are, where, the queue can actually be pretty long. And honestly, it wasn't that long until, I checked, a few minutes ago. It was, 120 something. I was like, okay, I should probably be on the safe side and just log in right away. So I did that, and now we're here. Oh, I cannot wait. I cannot wait to dive into this. I actually have a friend who's already beaten all the main story quests, so I'm like, oh, Jesus. So that's awesome. But anyway, guys, as you all know, the streaming schedule is now different. I'm now going to be streaming on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I'll be streaming Final Fantasy XIV Endwalker until we are done with all the main story quests. And maybe I might do a stream of, the raids or whatever it is that happens afterwards. We'll see. But yeah, I'm very excited for this as well. I cannot wait for it. Holy crap. Wait, I'm able to do all of these now? Oh. I guess they changed it up a bit, didn't they? Well, what the hell is that stuff? I have no idea. But yeah, now my character is I'm not at the max. Not the maximum. Oh, they put all the Shadowbringers dungeons into the one area now. Oh, and of course all the trials are in there too. So, Alliance raids. Yeah, the Alliance raids or the normal raids, whatever they're called. So, yeah. Well, of course, guys, I release videos every single day as well at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, or at 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. if it's a day that I'm streaming. Currently, guys, we have The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword coming out in the earlier slot. We're actually getting very close to the end of that game, I can already tell. And we are, and the video that comes out in the later slot is Shin Megami Tensei 5, which I'm having a blast in both of those games. All right, without further ado, let's continue on. Let's do main story shit. Now it's time for us to go to school. The next ship to sail. Alpha Note is feeling the need to take a stock. Andy, do you have some time to talk? I'd like to gather everyone in Dawn's respite and together assess the situation in which we find ourselves. Okay. I heard, this is pretty long, but there's a lot of long cutscenes, too, so... I asked a friend of mine who's already beaten it, and he's just yeah, cutscenes are just pretty long, which he's okay with that. Let's take stock on the facts, shall we? The crises at hand began with the sudden appearance of ominous towers in a multitude of locations throughout the world. We have since learned that said structures were brought into place being by an organization known as the Telepathy Authority. Excuse me. The Telepathy's stated purpose is to recreate the final days of Aeon's past. God damn. Got something in my throat. An apocalyptic event that would result in the destruction of all we hold dear. Already have these towers of theirs been the cause of unforetold suffering. Countless innocents kidnapped and imprisoned, their faiths perverted for primal summonings. And unless we find a way to deal with the corruptive aura surrounding the spires, we can't even get close enough to rescue anyone. Those shielded with the blessing of light seem able to resist being tempered, at least. But after what happened to Alfred and Fordola, we need to be very, very careful about how we proceed. Yet, while those threats close at home are of paramount concerns, we mustn't lose sight of the situation in Garlemald. As you know, the Telepathy are under the leadership of Van Daniel and one of other delightful fellows, Xenos Galvos, the Crown Prince and our dear friend. To date, he's reclaimed his old body, murdered Empress Varys, and plunged Garlemald into an even deeper pit of chaos. The capital has probably seen the worst of it. For a good while there, it seemed the bloodiest fight in the War of Succession, but that has since changed, and in troubling ways. Aye, during our reconnaissance, the air was not once rent by the barking of cannons or the crises of discord. It was an eerie fog of silence which did blanket that ruined city. The inhabitants appeared to have been tempered, and with nary a word spoken did they labor to transform the place into a soaring edifice born of nightmares. If they were indeed made thralls, it seems safe to assume that these events, too, were orchestrated by the Authority. An army of primals is awful enough, but in light of recent developments, I fear it is only the prelude to an even greater catastrophe. We need to devise a means to counter this threat, and quickly, before our allies are overwhelmed. We will find a way into Sharlayan, I am sure of it. Master Forkishald's comments regarding the final days were curious to say the least. The form knows more than is letting on. Sorry to interrupt. We've just received word from Mistress Kryle. She says the arrangement for your visit has been finalized. You're to head to Limsa and board the next ship bound for Sharlayan. And our arrival presents ourselves as associations of the students of Baldesayan, come to assist the Order's restoration. Yo, this music is great. The arrangements may be settled with the order of your thoughts. They must race at the prospect of returning home after so long. I'm eager to see it, of course. Of course. We should set off at once. Then I'll accompany you to the docks. You need at least one person there to wave and cry and wish you a safe journey. Let's go, little bro. Yo, that way that the quest acceptance thing came off. Ooh, that was awesome. Yeah, I kind of have this. Like, don't get me wrong, I have played this after a while, but it's been a while, so. It has been quite a while since I last played this game, so. Yeah, as you guys see, I did empty out my items for a bit. I did do some of that stuff, and of course, oh yeah, that actually reminds me. How's my character looking? Yep, belt is gone. So we'll make sure. I tried to desynthesize them, but for some reason they won't let me desynthesize those items, so. Everyone's here, which is good, because I've already paid for your passage, and the fee is non-refundable. Sister Sharman should be pulling into port soon, so please follow me and have all your luggage close at hand. Luggage?
They've almost finished loading our cargo. We should be ready to depart.
It feels weird
right
playing
on
as a...
schedule.
Because most of the time after I was done, you know, playing, I've been playing as a red mage, so I'll have to remember how to play as a warrior.
It's funny. Master Louis Soir came here on a ship very much like this one. And now, years later, the street urchin he befriended that day is bound for his mentor's homeland. With his mentor's grandchildren, no less.
Aye. 'Tis upon reflection that every twist of time's river and fate's whims are brought into sharp relief. Thou hast matured much in the intervening years. Wert thou not caught attempting to relieve Master Louisoix of his purse scant moments after he made landfall upon this dock?
Oh, really? Now that's a tale I'd like to hear.
Oh, I love Alize so much.
Will this be your first visit to Sharlayan, Sir Estinian? Sir Estinian?
Are we strangers newly met? Why this stiff formality?
I, merely meant it as a professional courtesy, since we are now colleagues in an official sense.
I'd rather you dispense with the sirs, especially in private company. Or I'll be forced to respond in kind, little Lord Alphino.
You've made your point, Estinian. Painfully well.
Better.
Better. Fucking God.
Are you all right, Tataru? You seem positively distraught.
Distraught? Me? Don't be silly. I think it's lovely that they get to see their homeland. It's just, we're trying to thwart the schemes of an army hell-bent on destroying the world. And, once again, I have to stay behind and worry that this is the last time I'll get to see my friends.
Don't worry, none of us will die. Right? Oh, I'll bring them back safe and sound, I promise. No sense worrying about the things where powerless has changed. I'll bring them back safe and sound.
I'll hold you to that.
Ah, good. You're still here.
Hori! Coulternay!
Is this actually
What
the first time
brings
these
you
guys
all
have
this way?
voices?
We're to assist the Maelstrom and the Kobolds with a lunar primal operation, so we thought we'd see you off before heading to the tower. Flamine and the others wish you all a safe journey, and promise that they'll look after things here until you return. We will too, of course. Aye. We, your fellow Scions of the Seventh Dawn, will do our part to ensure the end of the world won't happen on our watch.
We're set to sail! All aboard for Sharlayan!
It's time.
Then we must delay no longer. We will contact you the moment we learn aught of value. Wish us luck.
Have a safe journey, and please, please, be careful.
Tataru, do you remember who you're talking to? We're always careful.
And so you venture forth unto the unknown. A fate beyond the horizon that cannot be divined. A future undefined and in flux. In uncertain times, naught but the simplest words of wisdom will suffice. That which lives is destined to die. Love leads to loss. Every beginning has an end. Treasure every moment, every step of your descent. And there, in the depths where souls and stars rest, find your truth.
Yeah, bah. So, here we are, our new homeland for this expansion, at least for a while, I'm sure.
Here.
No, shut up! I don't want to deal with your bullshit right now. Heidelin.
Think.
Hi, Heidelin. Where's Lady in White? This is their personification,
The day
I'm
has
assuming.
barely dawned, my fellow earlier riser.
How can you tell what's up with
Though
these?
we're hardly alone in that. Envious of those still sleeping soundly, no doubt. Called out to you, you say? I've heard nothing myself.
Well, it's Heidelin. Wouldn't only her chosen ones.
In any case, I dare say the sea air will do you good. Why not join the others on deck? Sharlayan should be coming into view at any moment.
Yeah, I'll go do that. I'm actually quite curious. I don't know how many main story quests there are in this expansion. Oh, hello.
My voice yet reaches you. I am glad. Hear, feel, think. And thus do we meet face to face at last.
108.
My warrior of light, guided by the crystal.
Oh. Hi, Heidelin. I can trust your words no longer. Why now, Heidelin?
After your sojourn in the First, I believe you have your answer. You have gained an understanding of what I truly am, what Heidelin has always been, a primal.
Yep.
Zodiac was created to forestall the apocalypse which threatened the ancient world, and I was brought forth to bind him.
Can't wait till we fight Zodiac.
Yet
Little
7
fish guy.
times now, those who would orchestrate a return to that bygone era have rejoined a shard to the god I had sundered. The greater his strength grows, the swifter does mine own diminish. The power to draw your mind into the rift betwixt is no longer mine to wield. Yet though it taxes me sorely, I dare not leave these words unsaid. Even bereft of my guidance, you and your companions have accepted the burden of this star's troubled past. A conjunction has begun to form, an intertwining of your time and mine. Wheels shudder and turn. Conflict looms, monumental, which will decide the fate of this world and all life upon it.
Great.
When you truly understand what is at stake, and your journey has prepared you to surmount the insurmountable, then shall I honor the promise made in another time, another age.
Cast your peepers to the fore, folks. Sharlayan's just over yonder.
I will not keep you further. Your traveler's heart must yearn to behold this unfamiliar land. We shall meet again, and soon.
Okay, Mommy Crystal. God, I can't wait to get some new gear. Hello.
Oh, what a fine morning. Oh, still a bit stiff though.
And a good morning to you too. Taken a look at the island already?
Not quite.
Then let's go. Let's go. Might still be room in the prow if we're lucky.
I love Alize so much. Oh, she's grown on me.
Ah, the sleepers have arisen.
To be fair, me and Gratai were up way
There
earlier.
she is. Good old Sharlayan.
Oh, I see it.
I don't. Ah, there it is. Ooh, it's pretty. Let me hear that Sharlayan theme.
Home. Home at last. Well, maybe
Yo,
not
they're
in
playing the
father's
Endwalker
house,
theme.
but we'll manage on our own, if we must.
You do know you're not alone in this, don't you?
Indeed. 'Tis as Sir Estinian said. Forget not the comrades who boarded this ship at your side, I prithee.
Thank you, my friends. We are ever grateful for your steadfast support.
Upon arrival, we will be disembarking into the heart of Sharlayan proper. There is no greater concentration of wisdom in all the world. I am confident that somewhere within that center of knowledge and learning, we will find the answers we seek.
Endwalker.
Sharlayan, the solitary island nation of the northern seas. Where under the watchful gaze of Thaliak, patron deity of scholars, academics hoard all manner of knowledge and secrets. Once, they deigned to accept foreign students into a distant colony maintained in the Dravanian hinterlands. How swiftly they abandoned it once the first Garlean boot set hostile foot on Alamegan soil. So averse to the prosecution of war, these men of wisdom, your would-be allies.
The northern empty, old Sharlayan.
I thought they'd never let us off the ship. What's next then? Entry applications?
Hopefully they find no cause to deny us.
Hasn't Sharlayan all but severed relations with foreign powers? Those of us without direct ties, myself included, may be refused outright.
'Tis true that, as a nation, Sharlayan only forms trade agreements with a select few neutral countries. But from a practical standpoint, an island cannot afford to be overly strict with its borders. Especially not if that island's people are wholly devoted to the accumulation of knowledge. If one submits the proper paperwork, with satisfactory evidence of identity and intent, then foreigners may be granted entry.
Sounds like a hassle.
May.
Quite. So let us be absolutely clear on these points before we proceed. The immigration officer will ask for your affiliation and your purpose of visit. Considering Sharlayan's views on intervention, I strongly suggest we avoid any mention of the Scions. Kral has laid the groundwork for us to act as associates of the students of Baldessian. And our ostensible reason for being here is to aid in their order's restoration.
No Scions, Baldessian. Got it.
Here. It might expedite our progress should an actual student be seen at the head of our little group. Would you mind leading the way?
Of course. The immigration offices were this way, as I recall. Shall we?
Lucky us that we have an actual student here. Huzzah!
Greetings. We've just arrived and are eager to make our way into the city. Would you be so kind as to process our entry applications?
Certainly. I see by your mark you are an Archon.
I am. Grahat here of the Students of Baldessian at your service. I was assigned to an Eorzean survey team, but have returned to assist with the reformation of my order. My associates here will provide additional support.
Very good. I have paperwork detailing your group and its scheduled arrival for today. And it seems some few of your companions are also Archons. If you'll step forward, we can process those applications first.
Ishtola rule.
Oh boy. I give my name and they'll be like, nope, fuck you. Yep, Flux, I play 14.
That list is etherically linked with the citizen registry kept in the main repository.
Yep, I play 14. Just started Endwalker today. Cannot wait. I mean, we literally are still in the first quest.
As Archons and amended your travel records accordingly. Welcome home.
Great. They're not gonna let me in.
Now, who do we have here?
Who is this fine, tall drink of water, she says as she looks to Sir Estinian.
Alphino Leveilleur.
Alize
And
Leviar.
Alize Leveilleur.
Your applications have also been approved. Having said that, the streets are abuzz with talk of how House Leveilleur's lord disowned his young progeny.
Yeah. Fuck him. Damn, okay.
And while such personal circumstances constitute no reason to deny you entry, I urge you to avoid exacerbating your present situation.
Yeah, I said before,
Times
but one of my
are quite
friends has
troubled
also
enough
finished all the main story quests for Endwalker, and he said it's perfect and weird.
We
And I
shall
was like,
keep
you know what?
putting-
I'm okay with that.
These last two are not Sharlayan natives, but you will find their credentials are in order. An application was made in advance.
They were?
Name and occupation?
Anidol, champion of Eorzea, artisan. I'm an adventurer by trade.
An adventurer. Well, I suppose that is considered a valid calling in your native Eorzea. And it does indeed match the profile provided. You may enter.
Sweet. Estinian, please come in. Why do I have a feeling you will
And
not?
you, sir?
Estinian Valino, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
I don't know.
If you'll allow me.
Hi, Kryl.
My associate is a mercenary, hired for his strength at arms. Surely you are aware of the dangers we often face on our forays into the wilderness.
Yeah, mercenary.
Mistress Baldessian, if you insist on sponsoring his entry, then so be it. But while I appreciate that desperate times call for desperate measures, I find your choice of company concerning. Be advised that even a single misstep may have severe repercussions for your organization.
Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
I have every confidence in my chosen company, dear and trusted comrades that they are. But I thank you for your concern.
Kryl, it is good to see you.
Likewise. Long voyage notwithstanding, you will seem none the worse for wear. There is much to discuss, but this is hardly the place. Let's be on our way, shall we? Oh!
Huh?
Welcome, friends, to Sharlayan.
Neat.
As your mercenary, I should hope my welcome includes a generous salary.
Well, I had to say something, Sir Taciturn.
Do I get to move around now? Yes, I do. Holy shit. Of course everyone's right here. Because this is the first time people are actually into the game, so... I'm glad I spotted your ship coming to port. The officers are born bureaucrats and sticklers for details. In any case, you may relax and take a moment to get your land legs back. Ooh, loving that music. Old Sharlayan, new to you. I should have saw what that thing was first before I continued on. I had thought to launch directly into an expedition of what I've learned and how we might proceed. Explanation. But this is Ade and Estinian's first time in Sharlayan, and for the rest of you, a homecoming that was long overdue. You must have places you wish to visit and people you're dying to see. Therefore, I propose we postpone our agenda so that you all may have sufficient time to recover from your journey and get your bearings in the city. Once you've settled in, we can reconvene at the Baldessian Annex. How does that sound? This is a fine suggestion. We may not be welcome at the Lavia estate as such, but I should like to nose around the neighborhood all the same. Yeah, go see your bitch face of a dad. I'm equally untethered, as it were. There are no particular places that my kin call home. Still, I would not pass up the opportunity to reacquire myself with this city. Likewise, a quick tour to our old haunts might even yield some useful gossip. The annex was west of the Aetherite Plaza, wasn't it? I shall join you there anon. Yes, we'll see you there. Gotta remember what voices I gave these guys. It's been like months since I've last played this game. I too have places I would be remiss to not visiting forthwith. By thy leave. I'm sure you guys have seen the video, and what's the best is it was the actual voice actor for Urianjay that did, like, he did a rendition of my milkshakes. Or at least, like, the first bit of it, and it's fucking hilarious. What of you, Estinian? My services as a guide are yours for the asking. Fuck no. That won't be necessary. Until we reconvene, I prefer to wander as the wind takes me. But I could... Oh... Well, Raha, would you like to join us then? You've been gone for quite a while, and this would be the perfect way to refresh those dusty old memories of yours. Yeah, you've been gone for like centuries or whatever, so... Oh, of course, if you will have me. Come, Andy. Sharlayan awaits. Yo, I like that quest acceptance music. Okay. After you, my friend. I'm more than content to follow your lead. Greta is now accompanying you. Keep him at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. You can leave Gratia behind by entering a different area using the Aetherite or by putting too much distance between you. You can also speak with Gratia and select the options to part ways. If you wish to have Gratia accompany you again, return and speak with him at the original location. While Gratia has accompanied you, next try speaking with Kryl. All set, then let's be on our way. Our first stop, amusingly enough, will be the last stand. It's a cafe on the west side of the harbor. Kryl's also accompanying you. Lead your two companions to the last stand and speak with Kryl at the designed location. Okay. While you're accompanied, you may encounter conversational points along the way which offer additional topics of discussion. Enter the glowing area and speak with your quest companions to initiate these bonus conversations. Enjoy exploring your surroundings together. Ooh, I actually kind of like this in a way. Yo, why is this music so... God damn it. I feel like the attuning's taking a little bit longer than it used to. This is actually a nice little thing that they're having here. Discuss the giant statue in the harbor. Now that's a sight no one could hardly forget. This great statue of Thailand. As assumed Baldosia, I was usually quartered on the Isle of All, but I would gaze upon the scholar's wise features every time I returned by ship to the city. This path leading out towards the sea is known as the Phallic Stoa, so named for the statue of the scholar which stands at the end. As you know, the Sharlayan people prize the accumulation of wisdom above all else. Thus, when Thalak was chosen as our patron deity, there's more a matter of pragmatism than belief, an alignment of principles as it were. We may have honored him with a rather impressive sculpture, yes, but our faith is not so restrictive as that of, say, the Ishgardians. Individual Sharlayans can, and do, worship the divinities of their choosing. I want to climb it. And here we are, the last stand. I may have mentioned this before, but although our research into nutrition and food preparation is quite extensive, the average Sharlayan tends to regard seasoning and flavor with a certain indifference. Hello, what the hell is that? Oh, I think that was just someone. How do I put this? The food is, it's bland and as incapsulable by our infamous Archon loaf. The prevailing sentiment towards cuisine is dietary value first and taste a distant second. Ew. There was one pupil at the stadium, however, who could stomach the school's in-bite meals no longer, so he quit his lessons, poured all his savings into building a proper eatery. And so the last line came to be. It is, as the name implies, the sole dedicated outpost for fine dining in Sharlayan, one and only bastion of the culinary arts in an isle of otherwise mediocre fare. I seem to recall their burger being hailed as one of the most impressive items on the menu, as I have ever had the pleasure of eating one myself. Because you are a typical Sharlayan when it comes to cheap and convenient, Raha. But truly Tatar has since taught you how to appreciate a well-prepared dish. You should all stop in when time permits and sample the cafe's delights. Shall I press on? The stairs to the side of the cafe there will take us up to the Aetherite Plaza. Yo, why? This song is so fucking good. Bunny boys! Bunny boys! Bunny boys! Oh, there it is. I was like, where's the thing? I was honestly thinking about making my character into a bunny boy, but I couldn't. I can't. What the Gratia, what the fuck are you doing? Hello? Okay, you're back. Don't scare me like that. I'm like, hello? I love the crystal design of this thing. Unusual shape, isn't it? I assure you, however, that is perfectly functional aetherite. Remember to attune yourself before we move on. What the hell is that thing? Now, being the delightful tour guide I am, I should make mention of the Confluence research facility located at this very plaza. Much ventured discoveries are the reasons Sharlayan stands at the forefront of teleportation technology. In deciphering the underlying principles of alien aetherites, it allows us to understand and reconstruct what was essentially a lost art. And off we go to our next destination. Our path leads northeast to the Aragon, Sharlayan's largest marketplace. Welcome to the Agora, where you can find wares made in Sharlayan as well as a wide selection of imported goods. They also use the sellable, questionable prototypes from the various research institutes, but I think that practice has thankfully died out, for the most part. Otherwise, I can think of no better place to stock up for your next big adventure. Am I overselling it? On a more serious note, the next stop on our tour is one which has particular relevance to our ultimate purpose here. We must head back to the Aetheroid Plaza, follow the path north, then climb the stairs up to that imposing building on the very top. These little decorative features are typical of Sharlayan architecture. Aside from the research wing, our headquarters at the Isle of Val were rather simple and rustic by comparison. This is the Nympho Noon, an area dedicated to the blessings of water. For Sharlayans, water represents more than a life-sustaining liquid. It is a reminder of the great flood which precipitated the birth of our nation, as well as a symbol of the knowledge which flows from Thancred's divine water. This is the reason you see an abundance of fountains throughout the city. Propensity of utilizing water as a decorative feature in our architecture. Oh, hello. Well, you do you, buddies. I wonder if a cutscene will play here at some point. This grand statue before you is the Rostara. The name refers to the original public performance erected here, upon which a form of elected representatives will deliver orientations and debate policy. Although the stage has since evolved to the council chambers, the nature of the form and the duties of its members remain largely unchanged. Am I boring you, Raha? You seem awfully distracted. My apologies. From here, one can see the entire city sprawled out below. Vesta put me in mind of my arrival in the first. Those who had gathered at the Crystal Tower asked me how they might go about building a new home. Naturally, my answers were all inspired by my knowledge of the finest settlement I could think of, the great city of Sharlayan. And bit by bit, those few buildings grew into a town, community, the Crystallium. You can almost see its echo. I see. Feel free to come up here whenever you wish. I don't think the councilors would object to you simply enjoying the view. Such memories should be treasured. From now, however, the tour must go on. Our spectacle of sightseeing concludes with the finely named Journey's End. Walk down the stairs to the east and continue straight ahead. Ooh, this is a nice view. We've arrived at Journey's End. History tells us that this was where those who put ashore with Archon Nerofroth built their first homes. In the present day, it serves as a residential district for the most important officials and the oldest Sharlayan families. You see, the one mansion is clearly larger than its neighbors. That estate belongs to our friends from House Luvari. I can't say the name anymore. All things considered, we should probably keep our distance from the time being. And with that, we bring our little Sharlayan tour to a close. I hope it has proven to be an entertaining and enlightening experience. Now, shall we head directly to the Balstonian Annex? You remember the way, don't you, Raha? Let me think. We head down towards the harbor, cross the bridge to our right, and follow the path below the Aetheroid Plaza. Correct. After you, Andy. Louvière. Let me just get the... Let me just attune the crystal here. There we are. Question mark? What the hell is that? Is that like a new skill I'm gonna learn? Probably. See, I gotta remember how all this stuff worked. Alright, I want to do that, and then, you know, get their attention. I obviously do the down button, so I get the thing that I do rampant and release, and then I can just go ham on either full cleave or decimate. So it's gonna take a while, but I will learn how to replay as my warrior self. As the joyous look at Rahat's face has undoubtedly informed you, this is the Bastion Annex. If you continue up the hill, you'll arrive at the doorstep of Phenomenon. But I think we've explored enough for one day. We can take you there another time. Inside with you then. I'm back, and I brought Andy and Raha with me. Ah, you were right about the ship then. Hello, Graha. It's nice to see you again. And it's a pleasure to finally meet you, Andy. I've heard many a tale of your exploits. Ojikatsukichaja. It's been an age. Allow me to introduce Ojikatsukichaja, Administrative Officer of the Students of Bastonia. He oversees the day-to-day business of our annex. The champion of yours has featured promptly in Crown Graha's reports. So for me, this is akin to seeing a fabled hero come to life. It is an honor to make your acquaintance. This place is like a second home for the students. The Alval served as our main headquarters, of course. We often had occasions to visit Sharlayan. Whether to make use of the city's research facilities, attend conferences, or procure supplies from distant shores. And the annex here was built to provide lodgings for our members while we were engaged in such activities. Ever since our former headquarters, along with the isle itself, vanished, the annex has served as our base of operations. And yet it feels so empty. With so many lost to us, our organization is a shell of its former self. The day will come when we will see the students rise again. But first we must ensure that the Telefero fall. Through the door on the left there is the main hall, where we can discuss our options moving forward. Once everyone arrives, that is, you probably have time to rest before our discussions begin in earnest. I have private quarters prepared for you in the Adorn, so please feel free to make yourselves at home. Ah, the nap rooms. Perfect for an afternoon doze. Oh, I don't mean to give you the wrong impression. The chambers are quite well appointed. Far more so than some cheap roadside inn. Maybe I should. But simply that we were often so busy with research, our exhaustion from journeys abroad, that we would slip into the Ardon and just to steal a few winks. And thus they became known amongst the students as nap rooms, even if many such naps might last well into the following morning. Say the word and I'll be happy to show you to your chamber. Hopefully the others won't be too long in coming. I'll wait for you all in the main hall. Ah, yes. It's time for me to go into my chambers and talk to people. Friendly remind. Oh my god! You know what? I might as well do what that one person did. And what the hell? I can't use my Aether Compass here? Okay, fine. I mean, I guess that makes sense. Go back anyway for a nap. Yeah. Oh. Or do I have to just go into the main hall? Oh, I guess that's the case. Feeling fresh and alert, our colleagues should be wandering in soon. So I suggest we stay here and wait for them to join us. I can't wait till I get to my first dungeon and or trial. I hope I get into that.
I was delayed.
I will get there soon.
It's fine, Urianger. We're all here now.
Let's get down to business then, shall we? Come what may, we must prevent the Telophoroi's plans from coming to fruition.
Yeah, I'm never going to say that word correctly.
I see two paths for gathering the information which may aid us in achieving that goal. The first involves an investigation into the change which has come over Sharlayan, not to mention the recent inscrutable behavior of the Forum. As most of you know, the 99 members of the Forum are elected from the general populace. This alone guarantees a plethora of opinion with regards to foreign policy. The bibliotheques, for example, are a group of conservatives which would have Sharlayan focus on recording history, while remaining entirely uninvolved in the making of it. And at the other extreme, we have advocates for proactive diplomacy and direct intervention. My grandfather Galef was one such member, as was Archon Louisois. Yet despite our diverse factions and philosophies, the recent vote to deny Eorzea's request for assistance was unanimous. Even more concerning was the fact that many cited other, more pressing duties as justification for their recalcitrance.
Fortuno's refusal in Gridania had those same undertones. 'Twas as if, having stared unblinking into the face of impending doom, it simply turned away to pursue something more important. But what could that possibly be?
A mystery indeed, and one which I ask for your help to solve. Our future may depend on it. As for our second potential path, it concerns a request made directly to the students of Baldessian. Our organization was founded primarily to study strange and unexplained phenomena the world over. Mysterious relics and ruins, arcane disturbances, and so forth. Compared to our more isolationist Sharlayan colleagues, we have strong connections overseas, namely with scholars and academics who share our passion for the unknown. The request in question comes from one such acquaintance, Nidana, an alchemist residing in distant Thavnair. Her missive describes the sudden appearance of a tower, and the subsequent summoning of what I can only assume is a lunar primal. response to this threat, the satrap of Radzat-Han, the individual who governs the city-state, has instructed the alchemists to find a means to deal with the spire.
The artisans of that land are heirs to an ancient tradition, one rather unlike that of their Uldan counterparts. 'Tis possible, nay, probable, that they have gleaned truths unattainable by Eorzea or her Far Eastern allies.
They do, in fact, appear to have a strategy in mind, though it will require further research. To that end, they have requested an introduction to a capable warrior shielded by the blessing of light.
Hello. Guess that's me.
Assuming we divide our forces to pursue both of Kral's lines of inquiry, then having you join the group heading to Thavnair would seem the obvious choice. But the investigation in Sharlayan is of vital importance as well. Equal, I think, to the Thavnarian one, given that the fate of the world may hinge on the results of both.
Yes, it is quite the quandary.
Is it really, though?
Though it is a great imposition and an altogether too common one, our efforts would be more likely to succeed were you to lead the charge on both fronts.
Oh, lovely. Really stretching me thin here, guys.
You are indeed our champion. As to which task to tackle first, we will defer to your decision. Let us next decide how everyone else might best be assigned. As for myself, I shall continue what I've begun in Sharlayan. I should also like to steal the services of an Archon or two.
And thereby gain access to a greater range of reading material. I will help with that.
Allow me to offer my assistance.
I was about to say,
I have some small amount of experience in
is
the
also
field of
going to
research.
join. Graha.
Alize and I would also like to help, if you would have us.
Anything to understand even a fraction of what our father and the Forum might be thinking.
Of course! The more the merrier.
So it's me and the other two chuckle fucks.
Right.
3 chuckle fucks.
The rest of us will make the journey to Thavnair. Thoughts? Objections?
I passed through Thavnair on my way to infiltrate the Empire, and though I'm not qualified to give a guided tour, I did gain a sense of where things lie.
I'll be happy to have you along then. So for this group, it will be you, me, and Urianger.
Give me a moment afterwards, and I'll supply you with all the details of Nadana's request. Consider this hall our rendezvous point once our respective tasks are complete. May our investigations prove fruitful.
They do this in all the... I think they've done this in every expansion, where it's like, your first 2 or maybe even 3 quests are like, oh, straightforward, but then it's like, hey, now we're splitting you up into 2 separate paths. You obviously have to do both of them, but it's like, oh, hey, you gotta do this side, you have to do this quest line, now you gotta do that quest line, so I don't mind it, but... Well, that's not... Is that a better item? Hold on. Can I compare it? Yeah. It's not as good as what I have on. Which, by the way, I should probably fix up my gear too. All right, let's do this quest line first. Hitting the books. An unsettling change has come over Sharlayan, but together we will divine the underlying cause of the form's calamities. As I mentioned before, however, questioning the counselors directly is a fruitless endeavor. It seems to have already come to consensus as to what and how little they are willing to divulge. Which is why I began scouring Sharlayan's archive of historical records for any hint of a connection to the final days. To Suffice it to say that progress has been slow. There are only so many dusty pages one can skim in a day. But now that I have the band of willing reinforcements, the search should proceed all the swifter. Let's reconvene outside Norman, shall we? Exit the annex to the right, and you'll find the archives on the western edge of the wood. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da. I mean, I could just also accept that one too, but I'll hold off on it. Wesley. That stuff So, if you guys are new to watching my Final Fantasy 14 streams, what I really like focusing on is just the main story quests. I really like focusing on main story quests in this. And if I have time, maybe I'll do some. I mentioned this before. Depends on how. Whenever I finish this. Whenever I do finish up the main story quest of this, maybe I'll do like a stream or two about doing like the raids or stuff like that. So, because this is the first, well, not necessarily. I was about to say this is actually the first time I've ever been fully caught up. This is actually the first time I've been, here for a new, expansion. So. My directions were easy enough to follow, I hope. In any case, you stand now before the doors of Normanna, Sharlayan's grandest collection of books and tomes. This building is actually only an entrance, and one of many at that, for the archives of Normanna extend deep beneath the surface like the roots of a tree. The vast halls of the great Gruba library pale in comparison to Normanna's endless maze of subterranean chambers. Any citizen in Sharlayan is free to enter and pursue its shelves. Well, most of its shelves. Only archives are afforded certain access to certain restricted vaults. Let's dispatch Stola and Raha to investigate those. Meanwhile, Alize and Alphanoon will help me continue my search through the stacks open to the great general public. Your status presents more of a problem. As a non-citizen, you are only permitted to browse the first floor here at the entrance. Even so, there should be a number of books which touch upon Sharlayan history or foreign policy. Your task will be to find and study the relevant publications. I promise you, a working knowledge of those subjects will make it far easier to spot the sort of clues we're looking for. Let's be about it, shall we? I've told the others to meet us at the stone benches over there once we found more promising tomes. Happy reading! Woof. Read a book, read a book, read a motherfucking book! Brightly colored book. The story of Sharlayan. Long, long ago on an island in the Northern Sea, there lived a Rogalian man by the name of Neurocraft. Neurocraft was a student of astrology, and he divined that a flood of terrifying proportions would soon sweep over the lands of Eorzea. So it was that he built a gigantic ship, assembled a crew, and set sail for the imperial realm. The flood arrives as foretold, and their home or the strangely churning waters drove the people towards the ocean. It was there, however, that Neurocraft's crew hauled them aboard his ark, but the danger had not passed. A towering wave approached, threatening to smash the vessel to pieces. With only moments to spare, Neurocraft wove the mighty spell of teleportation and shifted the entire ship to safely on top of Albion's spine. Refugees from the surrounding regions huddled there alongside them, but it was not too long before disputes over the dwindling supply of food led to violence and bloodshed. Saddened by his sight, Neurocraft gathered to him his crew and his great gatefold passengers and abandoned the ark to those ready peaks. They journeyed to the coast where they built a new ship, intent upon return to the northern seas. They landed on the beach of an island and settled upon the very spot. That settlement prospered and grew, and the time to become the city of Sharlayan we live on this day. Maybe that's probably what they're focusing on. Maybe like a flood or something's coming. Roads of old, the colony. Many years ago, on the breaks of the talc of the Dravinian hinterlands, a Sharlayan colony once thrived. The settlement was originally established as a mere outpost to study the Aetheral Sea in the year 1311 of the 6th Astral Era. Scholars dispatched to Eorzea found the facilities wanting, and their demands encouraged a grateful expansion in structures and services. As rumors spread of a growing community of academics, the area was further inundated with Eorzean students hoping to share in the renowned wisdom of the Sharlayans. 50 years later, the forum passed the mention of recognized that what had become a flourishing town as an official Sharlayan colony. Eorzea residents took to calling the colony itself Sharlayan, which led to no small amount of confusion when discussion turned to the subject of the motherland. In response, some Sharlayan inhabitants, if pressed for a name, would simply refer to it as Emporium. Following the Great Exodus, however, goblins and treasure hunters claimed for themselves a corner of the abandoned colony and gave it yet another name, Ildeshire. Oh! Following chapters go on to introduce the most prominent features of Ildeshire. This book does not appear to contain additional information on the form or cover the history of Sharlayan Motherland in great detail. AKA, you wasted time, dumbass! I love these little dudes. What the fuck? Look at the cute little robots! Blue covered book. An introduction to the heavens. Have you ever gazed at the sky above and contemplated the mysteries contained therein? Speak not of the shifting cloud patterns, but of the vastness beyond, or of the sun and twinkling tapestry of the night. Some think the dome above us to be the finest space, yet amongst the leading thinkers of our age, one scholar depicts of a boundless sea of stars firmly taken route. Alas, this heavenly sea remains an unreachable, unknown destination. There are few indeed who can explain in satisfactory detail why our own star is believed to revolve around the sun. It was the technologists of Alg who came closest to understanding the laws which govern that starry abyss. It was they who launched Dalmond and sought to expand beyond our earthbound existence. Having read of their ancient ambitions, I wonder, has your interest in this field of study waxed or waned? What if I were to tell you that the eternal constellations were arranged differently in the distant past, that their positions continue to shift, though imperceptibly by measuring as we journey into the future? Would it shock you to learn that the stars drift further and further apart and may indeed do so forever? Are you eager to learn more? Book is on the wrong subject. Search for works to contain details of the form or mention. Yeah. I know! Forever 20 summers. My beloved seekers of knowledge, have you ever put learning before your health and neglected to feed the rest of your body as you should? I too once engaged in such foolish practices, but one night engrossed in philosophical study I had an epiphany. For all the world's mysteries that drive us to reckless abandon, we have so few years of life in which to achieve our goal. Thus do I share with you this mantra. I am forever 20 summers young. The number itself is unimportant. You can be 19 or 23 or 40. Whatever age you are when you discover this manual, let that be the age you aspire to remain. Though mindful of healthy living, you will extend the time available to spend upon your choosing research. Another day, another moon, another summer to grasp the greater truths you pursue. The pages that follow, we will explore the secrets of maintaining one's physical condition from a biological, atheological, and arcane viewpoint. What? Are you saying that wasn't a book I was supposed to look for? Nah, that's just crazy talk. Stewards of Wisdom. This seems promising. During the chaos of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, Archon Nerf, founder of Sharlayan, bore witness to the madness of savagery from man brought to the brink of despair. Upon raising a settlement on an island of the northern empty, he instructed his people thus: renounce the ways of war and pursue enlightenment through knowledge and reason. The Sharlayans took to heart the words of their savior and therefore served as stewards of wisdom. Upon a foundation of accumulated learning, they built a homeland unlike any other. A nation born from strength in minds rather than strength in arms. With knowledge of economics came shrewd trading. With knowledge of agricultural came bountiful crops. Engineering brought wells and sewers, ending squabbles over water. Wealth of expertise could be buried for wealth and coin, and the more their wisdom spread throughout the world, the more mankind as a whole would thrive. And so it was that, no matter the trials and tribulations of the age, the citizens of Sharlayan would live by the founders' teachings. For the sake of a better tomorrow, for the sake of a brighter star, they were to screw the tools of war with knowledge to live in the world. Man, who would have known that the 3 books I needed to look for were... Wait, what? I'm missing one. Did I miss one? So I gotten that one. I read that one. Was there one over here? No. Read that one. Oh, did I not read that one? No, I didn't read this one. Okay. The Voice of a Growing City. In the years which followed the founding of Sharlayan, civic policy and other matters of importance were dictated at the Ecclesia, the form at which every citizen was eligible to speak. As the city's population grew, however, the forum became increasingly impractical. A larger number of participants grew raised to ever-elongating debates, resulting in a significant delay of virtual resolutions. Various measures were introduced in an attempt to crucial protected discussions, but in the year 2001 of the 6th Astral Era, it was ultimately decreed that Sharlayan would transition to a new form of governance. The nation would be now led by a body of 99 members, citizens chosen from amongst their peers by means of a nationwide vote. Thus was the form as we know today conceived and created. Gain fundamental understanding of Sharlayan history and the foundation of the form. And outside a rendezvous. Sister! Sorry, were you waiting long? Nah. Like 10 seconds, that's how long it took to load when I got there. I want to make sure I borrowed at least a few promising volumes. Alpha and Krauss should also be along shortly. I was delayed in a similar fashion. As far as I can see, no titles in the Archon stacks mention the final date specifically, so I have no choice but to start with the tangible relevant tomes, if there are even that. At present, the plan is to skim through it as quickly as we dare, and share our discoveries as we make them. It would be nice to invite everyone to the estate, plenty of comfortable places to read, and a great supply of hot tea. Oh, I was always quite fond of reading outside. But it's not about the little pleasantries, is it? You miss your home. It's been difficult. After our arrival, we managed to speak with one of the family servants and ask how things were. It seems our dear father has instructed the staff that even if Alphonse and I were to return to Sharlayan, we were not allowed to across the threshold. Damn. Harsh measure indeed. Hope that our efforts to understand his position, that the forum will perhaps lead to a reconciliation. We'll mend this rift one day, I'm certain of it. Nah, you don't have to. Fuck your dad. I'm your family. We're your family now. And what of you, Grahara? Have you been to visit your family, or do they not live here in the city? Oh, well, my situation is also somewhat complicated. I was raised in Sharlayan, yes, but I was born rather farther away. In the southern reaches of Ilsbard, in fact. For generations, my people have dwelled in Corvos, the coastal region outside the island of Thanver. The Alligans found the city in that fertile land, and by ship brought in the subjected tribes of the Mesquite to serve as laborers. course, the massive earthquakes of the fourth umbral calamity brought to an end of the Empire's reign, and with the fifth calamity froze and the sea solid, many of the tribes still living in Kovos braved the journey back to Eorzea. My ancestors, however, chose to remain that they might prevent the remnants of alien technology from being misused. Isn't Kovos under Guardian rule? For the past 50 years, yes. Some semblance of local culture remains, as in case for most imperial provinces. The government renamed the region Locus Aminos. When I was a boy, a nearby town came under the jurisdiction of an illustrious imperial family, the nobles of House Darneas. House Darneas demonstrated a singular interest in alien civilization, so my tribe was forced to consider a plan of action. For some time already, voices have been raised in favor of abandoning our ancient customs. After all, the alien eye no longer passed to our eldest children as readily as it once had. Fear discovery eventually tipped the scales, and the discussion was made to bury our ties to the knowledge of traditions of Alga. As the last child born with the Alleghenian eye was given over to the custody of friends of the students of Baldosia, who had me registered as a Sharlayan citizen. I never even considered. Forgive me, it was an unkind question. Even Thancred was taken in by Archon Louis Soir, was he not? Stories of adopted waifs and rescued orphans are more common among Sharlayans than you might think. Yet regardless of our origins, we are all provided with an equal opportunity to learn, and with sufficient perspicacity, we outsiders can even earn the vaunted title of Archon. This is exactly why I have such love for this country, and why I wish it to remain a nation for which its citizens can be proud. Here, another good reason to get to the bottom of the form's stubbornness, aside from the trifling matter of our impending doom. Excuse us while we try to make somewhat headway into these books, Auntie. More company should be arriving at any moment now. I like my axe. I can't wait to see some other axe designs. We've returned with our selections. Although I must say, the pickings were quite slim indeed. Mrs. Crowell has already flickered through her every history book devoted to disasters, and more than a few which barely made mention of them. As such, we will be looking into the research papers of the umbral calamities, as well as articles written by prominent forum members. Perhaps the knowledge of the final days came from an unexpected source. Speaking of which, might I ask you a few questions related to the final days? I'm the only one who didn't witness the events of Amarat firsthand, and I fear I may be overlooking critical details. Alright. My thanks. Now, where to begin? First things first, what kind of phenomena did the ancients encounter as the final days drew nigh? A complete destabilization of creation magic, primals of unrivaled power summoned from the aether. The worst kind of phenomenon you can imagine. Probably don't want to say that one because that one's so bland. Destabilization of creation magics. Yes, the unfolding catastrophe wrought havoc on all manner of life. The chaos extended to the ancients themselves, causing the power of creation to spiral out of control. Fear and despair manifest in terrible, tangible fashion. Meteors rain from the sky, fire erupting from the ground, indescribable abominations prowling the streets. That more or less aligns with my understanding. If only the odds of creation had survived until the present day, we have had something sustainable to analyze. To the best of our knowledge, however, those techniques were not preserved or passed on. It still surmises that the closest known magic is that of the summoning rituals promulgated by the Asians. Was there aught else of note which heralded the approach of the final days? Terrasor was engulfed by disaster all at once. Alpha, no, you can answer this one. They say it began with a keening sound from the land itself. This one. Ah, yes. The Almanalti spoke of it, didn't they? We never did hear the sound itself, of course, thus we were into the midst of the madness. But it seems that each and every one of the catastrophes were preceded by this ominous noise. Eventually it resounded all across the star, and not even Amarat was spared. So the ground was crying out, you say? To be considered the harbinger of doom, it must have been quite distinctive, and probably quite loud. I'll have to speak with one of Naramon's mammoths and ask after any books which make mention of such a sound. Last but not least, would you describe how the ancients sought to quell this unprecedented calamity? What definitive actions did they take? They summoned Zodiark. They summoned Hydaelyn. They knocked Almond from the sky. They summoned Zodiark, didn't they? Actually, they did both, technically, didn't they? Yes, with Ildibas serving as his heart, so many gave themselves in sacrifice to bring him into being. We do not know exactly how Zodiac brought salvation to the star, only that by his godlike will were the lands of nature set aright. Then, once the balance was redressed, the ancients offered up a further sacrifice to heal the ravages of the final days. Lives sprouted anew, and it was those fledgling souls they intended to render into Zodiac, a trait that would have allowed them to reconstruct the shades of loved ones absorbed by the primal. Or might have, had Lanat and his fellows not manifested their opposition in the form of Hydaelyn. Thank you, both of you, for the detailed review. I feel much more confident now in my understanding of events. With all that freshly in mind, it does make me wonder what the Telephial truly mean when they speak to bring about the final days. We've seen what they're doing with those towers of theirs. It's forcing people to summon problems with a kind of catalyst. Are they attempting to mirror the conditions caused by unstable creation magics? Excuse me. Or are they simply using the final days as a figure of speech? A convenient metaphor for the scale of destruction they plan to unleash. Stretch. But this is all just pointless conjecture at this stage. Let's return our attention to the form, shall we? We should keep an eye out for your Stola, but 'tis time we began studying these research papers. Oh yeah, I forgot about your Stola. I'm the last, am I? Well, my extended search of the Archon stacks produced one or two possible useful books. But I won't get my hopes up. If you recall, Urianger learned of the source's reflections from the Grand Oracles. For its potential to cause panic and confusion, that tome was deemed Apokara and sealed away in the great Gubal library. 'Tis even less likely the knowledge of the unsundered world, not to mention the honors of the final days, Horus, the final days, will be left sitting on a shelf for any curious scholar to find. Stands to reason that my colleagues, be they archons or counselors, should force by largely ignorant of the subject. Yet when you confront Master Forchelant with knowledge of the Telephial and their machinations, he scoffed at suggestions that they pose a threat. He seemed adamant that the Forum would know if the final days were truly upon us, which only supports the conclusion that whether privileged wisdom is guiding the Forum's behavior is being kept secret from the rest of the nation. Great. Not that I mean to excuse myself from reading duty. Whether they contain mention of the final days or not, these books could yet hold something of value. You weren't thinking of leaving, were you? There's plenty of work for everyone. Ah! I can't read! I can't read! You point me in a direction and I go kill everything in that way! I'm not a scholar! You labor at what feels like ages as Solid's research assistant. Woof. Oh dear, you look exhausted. But what about your studies? Were you able to find any books on the subjects I mentioned? Somewhat. And the day was well spent. Should you wish to read them again, a man at the reference desk will point you in the right direction. For a moment, though, I suggest you take a well-deserved rest. We might be occupied with research for quite some time. Hey for a tea break, Andy. I know I am. Honestly, my neck and shoulders are going to calcify if I don't stretch my legs and walk around a bit. You know, last stand down the harbor, don't you? Come and meet me near the outside table, and I'll treat you to a coffee. It's quite good. Da, 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 na, na, na. Man, I really wish sprint lasted longer than 20 seconds. It should at least last for 30. Like, that'll always be my one complaint, is let this thing last for 30 seconds at least. Oh, hello. Oh, this is probably a discipline of the hand or land mission, isn't it? Or, oh, it's for level mines. Okay. Well, I can't do that yet. Probably not until... shit. Actually, do I need to get all the aetheryte portions, or do I have to, like, leave? I don't know. I'll find a... I'll be able to get it at some point, but that point is not yet. Busy as ever, I see. How very Charlemagne that no other gourmet cafe has sprung up to compete for customers. Actually, this crowd gives me an idea. Before we place our order, why don't we ask a few questions and gauge the mood of the city? I'm interested to hear what the average citizen has to say about the Telethiol. Might even learn something new. Worth a try, don't you think? I'll say it's now a company you keep her at your side to proceed with quest objectives. Yo, it's Sissy, it's sister. What? What is it? Can a man not enjoy a moment of private reprise? If you're looking to share a table, then I respectfully request that you look elsewhere. Misunderstand, sir. We were simply wondering if you knew of the Telethiol. These enemies of peace have promised an end to the world we hold dear, and... What? You're that... Wait, you're that House Olivier girl, aren't you? This man with you is obviously a foreigner. I've heard you are disowned for helping outsiders indulge their barbaric whims, and here you are giving truth to the rumor. I'd think you to leave me be. I've not to say to the likes of you. Well, I must apologize. 'Tis foolish of me to expect as an ounce of chivalry from one so enlightened. Come, Andy. Yeah, it was kind of your fault to expect any form of helpfulness from these assholes. Yes, I don't believe I've had the pleasure. I think this is a female. Pray excuse the interruption, but we were hoping you might share your thoughts on the Telethiol and their unconsensible plans. My goodness, if it isn't the young Miss Laviere. My apologies, but I work in the offices of the forum, and if word reached Master Froschwald that I was helping you. I see. I'm sorry I bothered you. Dickin'! Well, let's place an order. Welcome, sir. What can I offer you today? Wait, is that Mistress Alice I see there? My word, how long has it been? Far too long. Meet Dickon, the owner of the Last Stand. I used to frequent his cafe on occasion, in between lessons at the stadium. That seems like an age ago now. I remember hearing that you and Master Alphonone had set sail for Eosia, but then you never came back. Clearly there's been gossip about your father disowning the pair of you. Everything alright at home? Nope, our father's a complete dick, so nothing else has changed. It's complicated, and I haven't expected complete strangers to be so familiar with our situation quite so quickly. Everyone has an opinion, it seems. Well, it is House Louviere. No matter how discreet Master Ochelant may have been, news of your family's doings never stays secret for long. Things being what they are, what brings you back to the city now, of all times? We have questions, and only Sharlayan has the answers. Tell me, Master Dickon, if you heard anything about an apocalypse called the Final Days. What? Like the end of the world? Nothing like that, I'm afraid. And that's what you're here to find, information on this apocalypse. Yes, whatever we can learn. Unfortunately, your patrons appear to be unwilling to speak with me. I wish there was more I could do to help. But maybe there is. You're a visitor to Sharlayan, aren't you? Then few will know your face. We should be able to pass you off as a server with none the wiser. We just finished preparing a few orders. Strike up some friendly conversation while you're setting down the food, and you might get your answers you're looking for. Not a bad idea. I had to ask, but what do you think? No multiple choice question. That's the spirit. Pay attention now and I'll explain where each of these dishes need to go. The tea is set for the chatty group sitting by the water's edge. Tea, water. The omelet is for one of our regulars, a Highlander by the name of Gizala. She's sitting on the outside table with friends of hers. Gizella, omelet Gizala. Behind you, you should see a Marquis gentleman. He ordered the oven-baked lobster. Got all that? If you're not sure, just ask and I'll explain again. Good luck. Okay. Well, I believe this is the tea set. Oh, my tea set. Lovely, thank you. The Tulafa who? I'm sorry, I've never heard of them or their final days. My friends are somewhat uninformed when it comes to current events. Now, if you want to hear about ritual arcane practices of the 6th Astral Era, common or esoteric, then I'd be happy to talk your ear off. No thank you. They make this a little easy. Finally, 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's begin, no time to waste. What? The Teleophial? Yes, I remember seeing the name in the latest Gazette. That and some grand claim about the end of days. Some old senseless warmongering. When will these fools grow tired of spilling each other's blood? Best stay out of it, I say. The Forum made the right choice, and I fully support our decision to remain neutral. Yo. That omelet. That omelet, though, that looks good. That looks really good. Has anyone picked up the Final Fantasy XIV cookbook? I'm honestly thinking of picking it up. Even though I'm not a great cook or anything like that, having a cookbook, though, would be fantastic. Urban banter with a smile. Let's give him this lobster. Lots, the oven-baked lobster is mine. You have no idea how long I've scrimmed and saved this up for this heavenly dish. Final days. This is the first I've heard of it. Although that would explain why my friend has been rushed off his feet. Must be a busy time to be a gleaner. You don't know what a gleaner is? They're collectors of sort. Travel the world procuring things that we haven't gotten here in Sharlayan. Priceless books, unusual life specimens, and so forth. So named for those folks who travel after the repairs in the fields. picking up every grain which was missed. By any all accounts, gleaning is most meticulous and demanding profession. If those Telephial make good of their audition threats, then many uncatalogued rarities could be lost forever. Why else would the gleaners be buzzing about in such a frenzy? Watch the harbor and you'll see what I mean. They're carting loads in from the docks all day. It's never been this hectic before, not like this. Ah. Alize! Oh, Alize! Alize! Any trouble with the customers? Were you able to get anyone talking? Interesting. They seem unaware of the found days, aside from whatever vague news the gazettes are printing. Even Dickon had nothing to offer, and he's the best source of gossip in the city. If the Forum does have secret knowledge, they have done an impressive job to ensure no one whispers it in the wrong ear. In any case, thank you for playing parts so well. Here, that cup of coffee I promised. Thanks, sis! Thanks, little sister! But let's enjoy our drink somewhere else, shall we? Maybe behind the peristyle, away from the gossips and their waggling tongues. God, this music's so fucking good. That was one of the things one of my other friends was looking forward to, was the music for this, and boy howdy, it's fantastic. And he said that the battle music is great, and I can't wait to hear that. Hopefully we hear that in this stream. Yes, it should do nicely, out of the wind and out of sight. Ah, I get to spend quality time with my sister. I like that cup.
When our father disowned us, I couldn't believe what I was hearing.
Well, your father's an asshole!
It wasn't until much later that his words began to sink in, that I began to feel the weight of what it meant. Do you remember when the decision was made to come to Sharlayan? Grahas said that the Forum was determined to keep us in the dark, and that Father's venomous performance was part of that strategy, to keep us at arm's length. Perhaps it was. Father argued with Grandfather on many occasions, but never with such dismissive contempt. And when he demanded what justifies the sacrifices we make in war, I honestly didn't know what to say. Neither did Alpha know, I know, but never for one moment did I believe we had made the wrong choice. So all I could do was fume silently. It was only afterwards that I realized how childish I had been, how being stubborn and self-righteous must run in the family. If I could have just mustered a civil response, then things might have turned out differently. They must be ferrying goods to Labyrinthos. A vast complex beneath the island. Sharlayan is famous for archiving knowledge from around the world. Well, that knowledge is not preserved exclusively in dusty tomes and desiccated samples. Our living library, comprised of all manner of flora and fauna, is housed and studied within that underground facility. Still, that did seem to be an unusually large shipment. When I lived here, it was rare to even see such cargo transported by boat. Wait! Didn't you hear something in the last stand about the gleaners coming and going more than usual? Well, I think they're the ones we saw manning those boats. And gleaners answer to the Forum. If the appearance of the Telophoroi prompted this sudden burst of activity, then Labyrinthos may hold a clue as to what the Forum is planning.
Labyrinthos? Huh. We have our quarry. We should tell the others what we've learned about the Gleaners. Go on ahead to Noamona, and I'll join you in a moment. Master Dickon will want his cups back. Bum bum ba bum ba bum. Yo! Yo, this is fantastic. This is something that they definitely needed, like right away. Having a list to show you where they were. Oh my god. I hope they added that to the other locations as well, and it's not just here. Oh, that is fantastic if that is the case. Definitely something I'll have to look up when I'm like doing other stuff. Welcome back, Andy. Been up for a walk and cleared your head, have you? Not exactly. We did some impromptu investigating and turned up information on the Gleaners. Fade to black, and I'm still explaining. It makes sense. The Gleaners take their requests directly from institutions and bureaucrats, but as you say, they ultimately answer to the Forum. A sudden and significant increase in Gleaner traffic and in cargo certainly gives the impression of an overreaching plan being put into motion. Let us see what theory we can build from the facts. As you still observed earlier, Noramon's active archives appear to contain no information concerning the final days. Coupled with what Ande and Alize learned at the last stand, we can be reasonably sure that most Sharlayans know nothing in that particular period of ancient history. That my father and his colleagues are not only familiar with the final days, but are also somewhat certain that the destruction being perpetrated by the Telathiol totally unlikely these events. Moreover, the Forum claims to be so occupied by a duty of such pressing importance that they say it's fit to unanimously deny Eorzea's request for aid. And now the Gleaners, official agents of the state, have been mobilized on an unprecedented scale. I do not think it is a stretch to conclude that the Gleaners' recent activities are in service to the Forum's secretive's end. In which case, our next course of action seems obvious. We visit Labyrinthos and assess the situation for ourselves. If we're lucky, the Gleaners will be far more receptive to our questions. Anything would be better than burying your head in another dusty book. What should we expect down there? Oh, I would hate to spoil the surprise. Oh, fuck you, Kryl! As for myself, there are a few more subjects I should like to research. I may join you later, but feel free to leave behind your borrowed books and be on your way. I'll see to it that each is returned to its proper place. That'll be a great help. Thank you, Raha. Is this a dungeon? Let's head down the stairs over there, and I'll show you where the entrance is. Alright, little sis. Alize, Alize, Alize! Ready? Labyrinthos is not far from here. You may find the path a bit disorienting. I'll take the lead, so stay close. Follow us there and try not to fall behind. Off we go then. Try not to fall behind. Oh, don't worry. I'll go at a fucking snail's pace. Like, this is me doing the walk, and I'm even going faster by her. Well, yes, we should move along, Alize. Now we run? Now we run. I don't know, this feels like a place I've been to before. Up here. I don't know, they made it seem like, oh, it's a hard place to get to. Alright, if you say so. Here we are, through this door and down the stairs. You do remember to attune the shard back there, didn't you? It will make your life much easier if you need to come back in a hurry. Otherwise, we should keep moving. Yeah, I attuned it. That's literally what I just did. Chocobo Keep. We're all here now, yes? I've taken the liberty of securing permission for our group's descent. Alright, everyone to the lift and go down we go.
Deep beneath the scholar's city shines a false sun within a fabricated sky.
What the hell?
In any age exist those who consider the floor an extension of their bookshelves. And this vault's architects surely belonged to that special breed. If the stack grows too high, start a new one. If no room remains, then make more rooms. A simple solution at first, and then bit by bit, a profound transformation. Knowledge, buried beneath knowledge, a growing, creeping labyrinth from which there is no escape.
Not what you expected. I must admit, the artifice is very convincing.
Yeah, it's not bad.
But I assure you that we are beneath Sharlayan itself. The breeze you feel, the flowing waters you hear, all created by the hand of man.
The island is volcanic, you see, and once upon a time this great hollow must have been a reservoir for magma. It was discovered some 400 years ago, at which point it was repurposed as a storage facility for scrolls and samples and such. Renovations have continued, with nigh on no interruption to this day, with the lower levels still undergoing expansion.
Aren't those people gleaners?
Aye, judging by their dress. They are said to work alone as a rule, but 'twould seem that rule is being enthusiastically broken today. It may be as you suspected, that they are engaged in a task apart from the norm.
Let's spread out and get some answers then.
Ugh.
Oh, what's up, Kryle?
Did you call to me just now?
No.
No. How odd. I must be a bit dizzy from the descent. I'll be fine, I'm sure. Let's get to work, shall we?
Oh my fucking god, why is this thing being a pain in the ass? Your help will give me more headaches because you don't have the look of a gleaner and I'm not in the mood for idle chatter. One of my colleagues was so exhausted he looked to tumble and crash into a pile of crates. Now I have the pack of marmots running loose. The exchange with Errol has taught you about exhausted gleaners. Let me think. The raw seeds should be item 1058. Cumin seeds, 1059. Snowberry, 1060. Or were they 1061? My head feels like it's stuffed with mako grass. Why aren't more loads to take out and then carry in? Why do all this at once and risk mixing it up? What someone mistakes the Corthian carrots or the Grabalian Albion carrots? What then? Large shipments coming in and out of the place. You want to know what I'm doing? Hauling books and ore and fauna. If it means hauling, I haul it. Every decade or so, they take stock in laboratories. You should know, sort and tidy up the inventory. Never seen an operation like this done before, though. It just did one a few summers ago, even. Then, with no warning at all, this mass gets dropped on our laps. Orders from on high. Damned if I do. Damned if I know the reason. Could be they changing the layout, eh? Preparing for the next big expansion. Taking stock. Hey, look, Andy. What tales do the Gleaners have to tell? Oh. So this grand operation began without warning, and for every item they brought in, they're sending more inventory somewhere else. That would explain their haggard faces I've been seeing. We were right, the foreman's definitely up to something, and they're turning Labyrinth upside down in this process. We would do well to learn more of what specifically the Gleamers are being tasked to do, as well as who has tasked them to do it. If you're game, Andy, I have an idea. Didn't one of the Gleamers you questioned say something about escaped Marmont? Perhaps if you were able to help him capture said creatures, he would be inclined towards a more friendly and enlightening conversation. In the meantime, I will turn my charms upon this Gleamer here. Can compare notes afterwards. Happy hunting. Help me find the moments. Nothing substantial to pay you for your service, but if you offer now of your goodness to your heart, I welcome the assistance. The name is Erebon, friend, specialist in the collection of live specimens. That said, the capture of these actions moments is a trial I have no desire to repeat. Grizzled mice, they call them. For mercy, there are no more moment species of this tier at present, so there should be no mistake in our little fugitives. If you happen to catch any, stuff them in this sack. Gently, of course. Where to begin, you wonder? I've not seen any scamping around here, so you'll need to wind out searching the surrounding forest. Be on our guard, there are beasts out there that won't hesitate to prey on a marmot or you. I'll search the trees to the west. The eastern part of the forest is all yours. Good luck. Ah, okay. What the hell is that thing? It's a troll. No, it was just that thing. Okay. Where the hell are they? Ow. I like to find this because unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to end the stream here shortly. It's not the 3 hours that I normally do it, but... Oh, there we go. Barely have you raised the sack with the girl's mouth scampered off to the underbush. Oh, that person's a sage. That's awesome. Oh, I see it. He's right there. Freak. Well, nimbly evades her grasp before once more disappearing through the trees. Get back here, you little bitch! Lovely. More speed. This time you succeed in closing the sack over an elusive quarry. How did you fare? I tracked down 3 of the pack, which leaves 1 unaccounted for. Here you go. Ah, there's the odd moment out. Wait here a moment while I put our friends in a holding cage. Thankfully, the Marmots seem to be unharmed. They've held up well in isolation, but it's much too soon to release them into the habitat. It's a good thing we were able to recapture them so swiftly. You have my thanks. Who tasked you to capture them in the first place? Why, the authority in charge of Labradors, now and in perpetuity. Same officials who have had us working day and night of late. The honorable members of the Forum. Who else? Suitable for consumption and easy to breed. Those were the 2 conditions I was given for the stock I was instructed to procure. Don't know what the Forum has planned for these creatures, but at the very least, I doubt they'll serve for dinner today or tomorrow. There you are, Andy. Is this the Gleaner you mentioned? The one who was looking for lost marmots? Interesting company to keep, friend. Who are you folk, anyway? I'm Crowley, students of Baldoza. These are my associates. The truth be told, the Forum's decisions of late have not set entirely well with us. That's why we made this descent to Laborothius. We hope that by seeing those decisions put into action, we might more fully understand their reasoning. Well, it's impractical. Never hurts to try and gain a broader perspective, does it? Anyway, duty calls, other animals to capture and close to empty. Once again, I'm sorry I can't afford you more of your services. Did you learn anything new from your friend there? Not really. Kind of. So we've confirmed that our order of the ambitious operation did indeed come directly from the Forum. However, the Gleaners have not been informed of its purpose. I say this fits with everything we've heard thus far. We also discovered when the operation has begun. The Forum conducted the Gleaners' guide ship and put their people into its great work some 4 days after the Tarathiel made their chilling declaration. As seasoned travelers, the Gleaners kept abreast of news from every corner of the world out of necessity. Thus am I inclined to trust that their calendar of events is accurate. Although it gives the deception impression that the undertaking was a sudden and unexpected development, yet I find it hard to believe that such a comprehensive restructuring of Ravelos's archives could have been planned in so brief a window. Nay, this plan was long in the making. They were but awaiting the right time to put it into effect. And the Tarathiel's declaration was what set it all in motion. Seems likely, but let's not leap to conclusions just yet. For the moment, I suggest we conduct a wider investigation of Labyrinthos. The more facilities we visit, the more pieces of the puzzle we can start to find. In that case, how about we head for the Archon? From there we can reach the lower... Oh, Kryl. Kryl, what's wrong? I'm fine, truly. The sun descent has left me a bit of a headache, that's all. Nothing else stopped me from soldiering on. Let's be about it then. At least allow me to take the lead. Fairly soon I remember the way to the Archeon. We follow the path east towards the forest where you were chasing after that mouse, or marmot, was it? Anyway, 'tis the trolls you need to watch out for. Yeah, I'll probably wrap up this quest line, or this quest, and now I have to end the stream. Sorry, I am cutting it a bit short today, but like I said, some circumstances just have to let me do it, and I hate that, but what can you do? Hopefully and then Thursday's a little up in the air if I'll do full 3 hours as well, because the Game Awards are on Thursday, and I want to cover that stuff. I won't be going live streaming for it because, let's be honest, I'm not big enough to stream it, so I'm just gonna record it for myself, so. So let me just get this done and then... Behold, the Archeon, as Nomeion says as Sharlayan's library archives, so does the structure house the city's wealth of material data. The architecture too is similar. This building you see is merely the upper entrance, an access point to the vaults carved into the cliffsides itself. Within those vast rooms are stored countless samples of specimens, as well as the detailed records which describe them. In a manner of speaking, the Archeon contains a physical history of Sharlayan's unwavering dedication to the accumulation of knowledge. Alrighty. Well, guys, like I said, this is actually going to be the end of the stream. I'm probably going to do some stuff off screen. Maybe do some of the duty stuff and such. But, yeah, duty finders. Because, I mean, just fucking look at that. They're all looking for me. So, I'll probably just do this stuff. But we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching this stream. Whether you watch it live or archive here on YouTube, I'll be back on Thursday for some more Final Fantasy 14 and Endwalker. And yeah, I'm really liking it so far. I'm having a blast, and I can't wait to dive more into this. So I'll see you guys on Thursday for some more Endwalker. Don't know if it'll be the full 3 hours or not. It all depends, but I'll see you guys then. And yeah, so take care, guys, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.